Alright, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So let's get right into this video. Let's talk about being a powerhouse, right? So if you know that you're chosen, if you know you're someone that is a fighter, like you can't stop fighting. It's not in you to stop fighting. You have a warrior spirit inside of you, and you know that you're a powerhouse because you could go through so many different things, so much adversities, like multiple forms of suffering. It could be any, like, not just one, not just two, not just three, four, five. It could be multiple forms. There's a lot of things going on, and you're like, how am I even going to make it out of this? So you already know that you're a powerhouse. That's how God made you. So your suffering isn't in vain. You don't go through things for no reason. And you've probably known this. You've probably known this your whole life, that whenever you go through a lot of adversity, you always learn something from it. You always learn. You get smarter. You get better. You get stronger. You just become better. You keep becoming better and better. And you're like, how does this even keep happening, right? Because that's how you're made to be. You're made to be a warrior. Just like any warrior goes in battle, goes in warfare, you know. And they win the fights. They win all these fights. And then the warrior gets better and better and better and better. It just keeps getting better. Keeps getting stronger. Keeps getting smarter. That's how it is for you. So this is why your suffering isn't in vain, whether that is. This is why you go through a lot of spiritual warfare where, like, things don't even make sense in your life. You're like, how does this even make sense? You might be pushing really hard to do something, but the harder you push, the more you get taken down. And the more you get, not taken down, but you know what I mean? Like, you get pushed back, and you're like, this doesn't even make sense. And then you have a goal to hit or something. You're trying to do something, and you keep getting huge resistance. And you're like, what's going on? And because you created that way, you created to fight. You created to be a fighter. So God created you to be like that. This is why God chooses certain people. And the scriptures do say that you didn't choose God, but God chose you. So being chosen is not anything that you chose to do. You didn't pick to do it. It just happened. God said, no, I'm going to, boom, take you out. You're going to go through these situations. You're going to be spread apart around other people. You're going to be the one that's different. You're going to be the one that sees different things and everything. And you already know this. Every single adversity that you go through, whatever it could be plenty of different things. Any single thing that you go through, you always become stronger because of it. You always become smarter. You always become better. You just keep making it through things. You keep fighting your way through things, and you always win, right? So if you're chosen, you know you're always going to win. It's already written. You're always going to win. Whatever battle it is, whatever war it is, you're going to win. So keep that in your head all the time. You're going to win. And this is how it is, because if you're chosen, you're built to see every single side of life. You're built to see the good things. You're built to see the bad things. You're built to see the oppression. You're built to see prosperity. You're built to see everything. You got the whole duality with you. You got the good and the bad. You see both of them. You see both of them for what they are. You go through the tough times and you see it for what it is. You go through the good times and you see it for what it is. This is how your life works. This is why your life kind of doesn't make sense, because you could be doing, you know, what you're supposed to do, right? And for some reason, only for you, it goes wrong, right? Like, everyone around you, they could be succeeding and they could be doing things, and like, you're trying like 2-3 times as hard, and you're going back down. You're trying harder, but the more resistance that you put, you keep getting put down, get down again. And you're like, what is going on? Like, why is it so hard for me, right? Because you're not battling against just what you see. You're battling against dark principalities, and these dark principalities could come in many ways. They could come through financial theft, right? They could come through health threats, right? They could come through just people in general. They could come through just a lot of different ways. It's almost like you're a one-man army, right? That's kind of how you are if you're chosen. You're kind of this one-man army. You're kind of just like people love you. A lot of people hate you. But the battles that you go through are always alone. It's always you and God. You always go through all these battles alone. This is why you always end up alone, right? And you may like to be alone, but you know that you want to talk to the right people, right? But then you go talk to a bunch of people, and then you figure out negatives about these people, right? So you have good intentions for who you're talking to, then all of a sudden you talk to these people and then all of a sudden they hate you, right? They might have envy towards you, jealousy towards you. They might see you as someone that's like, oh, they think they're better than me and all this stuff. And you know, your intentions are always pure. You never see people as like someone that you want to dominate or someone that you want to be better than or someone that you want to have malicious intent. You always see people in a way that like you want to help them. You want to like wish the best for them. You just see the good in people. And this kind of triggers a lot of people because you talk to these people and they see you as someone that they got to compare themselves to, right? This is why you're talking to a lot of people and your intentions were always pure, and then all of a sudden like they start to compare themselves towards you, or they might want to like compete with you, and you're like, hold up, like I don't even want to compete. Like I don't want to compete. I just want to chill, I want to have fellowship, right? And everything you go through has always been like a lesson. You start to develop your abilities, right? You go through all these situations, and now if you're spoken to people like this, now you have an even better discernment about people. You see the truth about people more, right? And then you go through things like financial curses, where like you'll start to make a lot of money. Then every time you make a lot of money, there's always a problem, right? There's always like, say you made like a big lump sum of money, then all of a sudden your car broke down, just all of a sudden, and then maybe your phone broke or something and you need it, because like who doesn't need a phone? And this is when you know that you're in a financial curse, because if you're starting to make a lot of money and something really important is always breaking whenever you make money, or something that you have to do that's like unavoidable, right? And like say your phone broke, and like a phone is a really important thing. People need their phones, to call, text people and do their things. A car is really important. Like if you don't have a car, you're not going to really do anything. Especially in America, you're not going to be able to do anything. So you go through these situations to where like there's always something trying to just like shoot, throw you down, always trying to throw you down, always trying to throw you down, just to stop you, just to kind of take your attention off your purpose, try to like delay you and be like, look, you need to focus on this now. You don't have the money. You got to do this. You got to do this. There's always something trying to oppress you all the time. And this is the curse of being chosen. You're always going to constantly be fighting against dark principalities. But like I said, you always end up on top. You always end up winning. So you go through like a lot of these problems, but you always make it out of them. You make it out of every single problem. It doesn't matter what problem it is. It could be disease. It could be all these things. You always make it out. You always fight through it. You're always the one that rises on top, because that's how you're supposed to be. If you're chosen, you're created to be a conqueror. You're not made to be someone that's like, oh, I give up. I'm going to throw the towel. You probably even tried that, because the battles have gotten really hard, but that only lasts like an hour, and then you're back on it. You're back on it, and it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence for you to like suffer from like anger and like all these things, and then all of a sudden an hour later you're happy again. It's not a coincidence. This is how God lifts you up. This is why you've always found out that like you can never be angry for long. You can never be depressed for long. You can never be overly anxious for long. You can never like stay in this suffering for long. You always somehow get happier. You just keep getting happier. You just keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. You keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. So that's when you know you have a calling, because many people don't have that. Many people like see the things in their life and like they turn bitter from it. They turn really bitter and they just say, you know what, I'm going to give up. I'm just going to go here. For you, you could say that and then there's something in your spirit that's like, no, I'm not going to stop. I can't stop. Like I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing it. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep fighting. Like you're a nonstop fighter. This is how your life is going to be if you're a chosen one of God. If you're someone of God, you're a nonstop fighter, because you're fighting against evil. You're always fighting against evil, and it's a war. It's a spiritual warfare. So this is how your life is, and as inconvenient as it is, all of these battles, all these things that you go through have always made you better and stronger and smarter and more empathetic and more. It just keeps making you better. It doesn't ever take you down to a negative path where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna turn evil. Like it doesn't like you can't do that, because you know it's wrong. You already have heavy convictions. you can't just be like, you know what, all these things happen to me. You know what, I'm gonna start stealing now, or like something like it's never gonna happen. So it's just not who you are. You're of God. You're righteous. You're loving. You're not evil. You're not wicked. You're not anything like that. So, but yeah, this is all I have to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. And of course, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. All right, God bless you guys.